Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Data Centered Audio Experience. Today I have Paul Camuto, the VP of Data and Integrations at Broadridge. And today we're speaking about data in the financial industry. So welcome to the show, Paul. I'm so excited to have you today.
Well, thank you, Catherine. It's great to be here. And thank you to the data standard community for providing a platform like this to bring conversations about the importance of data into the spotlight for everyone to share.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to have you today. And could you tell the audience just more about your background and go ahead and introduce yourself?
Of course. A little about me. I've been in the fintech wealth management space for over 15 plus years. And I have to admit, when it comes to helping solve and support a customer need, data has been at the forefront of my entire career. And I'm glad to be a part of the conversation here today. What I'm currently responsible for is the data and integration wealth product at Broadridge Financial Solutions. And there's no better time than now with the acceleration of digital to talk about the power of data. So let's get into it.
Yeah, definitely. And so where do you kind of see the financial services industry when it comes to data?
Sure. When you think of data across financial services, Broadridge has to be top of mind. We have a data-first, client-centric mindset, and we're uniquely positioned to serve all segments of the wealth continuum. In terms of our data footprint, I'm going to say these numbers slowly so it sinks in for the audience here and it resonates well. I just wanted to give a breadth of the data coverage that we have at Broadridge to really hit home of why, when you think of data, you should think of Broadridge. We serve 100% of the largest North American banks, which represents 11 trillion of assets on the platform across 75 million accounts. So just to take it back to your initial question about where I see the financial services industry going when it comes to data, I think you have to keep a close pulse on not only the advisor community, but the end investor consumer as well. And we've done just that here. We actually took a survey last summer of our user base, and I thought it'd be appropriate to hopefully share here with the data standard community some of those insights that we were able to glean off of the survey. So I'll start with the investor first and then work our way back to the advisor. So with the results that we found 57% of the investors that we surveyed said that the communication with their advisor has changed over the past year. Obviously, with everything going on in our crazy, wonderful world that we live in, email and video chat has been leading the charge. I don't think there's much of a surprise there. The critical insight that we found, however, was that investors would entirely or partially like to maintain those new methods going forward. So we realize that there's no turning back, and we really need to lean upon data to personalize those digital communications so that we have correspondences that are more relevant to the investors. So just to take it a step further, half of the respondents of those investors pool and population that we talked to said that the advisor has not actually communicated with their spouse, partner, or children. So when you think of the wealth generational transfer of assets, it's really important to facilitate and solve those conversations. And we like to do that through data. We feel that the advisor has a once in a lifetime opportunity to develop that deeper relationship with the entire client's family. And when investors were asked what they wanted to see communicated to them, they wanted more than just your typical account balances and holdings. They wanted tailored money-saving tips or ideas even on new investment vehicles that could grow their wallet share. So we're looking at data to target those investors and proactively send out that curated content automatically on behalf of the advisor. So lastly, just in closing, I know we talked a lot about the investor. I just wanted to round out the conversation with the advisor that we surveyed as well. So over 50% of the North American advisors were actually thinking of leaving their current wealth firm in search of better data and in search of more prominent technology services for them and their clients. Even more eye-opening was around 77% reported losing business because of that inadequacy in data or technology. And we know here at Broadridge that firms are under heavy increased pressure to invest in a modern advisor technology platform and workstation, and we feel that leveraging data in that meaningful way gets them there a lot easier. We really set out to build that next generational suite of offerings, and we know technology by itself cannot succeed without having the data. So that's why we really felt it was at the center of everything when it comes to the financial industry and where it's headed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like you work with a lot of data, and it's a huge integral part of what you do and what your company is also working on also. And so what does data mean to you and Broadridge in general?
Of course, great question. I think no matter the industry, having a lot of data by itself is not good enough. Data needs to solve a problem. Data needs to be made actionable. It has to drive improvement, engagement, and the overall experience across all channels in a purposeful manner. There's rapidly evolving trends, especially in our industry, that's driving this mandate. We have a lot of consolidation. There's fee compression. There's heightened expectations on holistic advice that are really fueling and propelling this demand for personalized wealth solutions. And at Broadridge here, we see data as the common fabric for it all. It really helps us produce a unified, deeply integrated front to back to front, cloud-based wealth solution that really differentiates on these next gen components. When we kind of talk from that front to back perspective, we kind of like to look at the front office, where they can have a means of acquiring, engaging, and managing their clients. The middle office, which is more operational oriented, where we can help enrich their digital capabilities. And then the back office, we can help them have a better shared managed services across all of their organization. So we really try to cater to all the multi-personas within the industry and how data can benefit them. I think just in terms of closing remarks here for this question and topic, we really see that the benefit of data is around streamlining workflows, optimizing productivity, and giving more time back to the advisor so that they can really nurture that investor relationship and help them grow their assets. And we see data as the conduit and platform to do that. We have an open architecture here where any type of third-party firm or client of ours can tap into our mutual technology directly. We've been a trusted partner in the space for many decades, and it positively grants us access, unparalleled access to the data that we have, and as a result, we really created those broad stretching capabilities in this one wealth type of experience.
Yeah, and you had also mentioned to me that you and your company work with a lot of different clients in a lot of different banking investment industries. And so what does it mean to be more client-centric in terms of just working with the data?
Yeah, I think that term definitely gets thrown around a lot and definitely made generic. And we at Broadridge really want to hone in, and we actually have a framework around this multi-persona customer journey that we defined around creating these client-centric data points. Everything that we have is modular in terms of APIs or microservices that can be tailored based upon a customer's use case or specific need. And historically in the industry, a lot of customers have had custom point-to-point solutions, which were very fragile and complicated, and they were fragmented in the sense that they weren't able to deliver that consumer-grade type of experience that a lot of investors come to expect and demand in this type of environment. So we've normalized our data structure. We've created an ontology across the data so that it's easily able to scale with resiliency and giving us the ability to protect the data as well, which is obviously the most important part when it comes to being a trusted steward of the data. I think when it comes to customer centricity of data, I think it's important to understand how customers are going to use the data. And we try to generalize those into 3 separate groups and come up with a data approach around that. We coin them as the implementer, the integrator, and the builder. So first, when you think of the implementer, they just want to take what you have available off the shelf. They don't want to customize it. They just want to use it as is, and we need to be able to deliver turnkey, seamlessly implemented type of solutions for those type of individuals. The integrator likes to combine multiple pieces and components together. They don't want to modify it, but they want to have some flexibility in how things are defined and organized. So we need to cater to them as well. And then lastly, the builder. This is kind of self-obvious here, where it's around the creation and owning that experience and being able to take the raw data elements themselves and then have authority and control over the visualizations. So this client centricity gives us the foundation that customers demand in order to have control of their data. They not just only want to read it, but they want to be able to write and update it, and not as of yesterday, but they want to do it in real time, right? So being able to have those views into the data and giving them access is critical here at Broadridge, and we really see it as the new growth channel going forward for the business.
Great explanation there in terms of client centricity. And how is data driving innovation at Broadridge right now?
Awesome question. It's really at the center of it all. Without the data, it'd be really difficult to innovate, and we see that as the linchpin to unleash innovation that others really cannot. And we've made a significant and consistent investment in next-gen tech that really brings tomorrow's solutions to today. There's been some marketplace announcements around our recent collaboration with AI company Flagoo, which is a good example. So when you think of what we're doing with Flagoo, it's a proprietary suite of predictive, state-of-the-art advanced analytics that really help banks and wealth management firms transform their business and performance around decision science. So we want to be able to deliver that exponential business value by harnessing all the data that we have and accurately predicting what the next move is going to be. What are those needs of the investor that they're going to have before they actually pick up the phone and call you for it. So it all ties back to the original question and messaging around that hyper-personalized and customized experience and giving investors and customers what they want when they need it. And we believe that this partnership and integration with Flagoo will really increase assets under management and lead to that enhanced relationship. And I think when we see data, it really goes to the fact that it's not only around investments, it's around behavior and looking to glean insights off of that next suggested best action. So by partnering and combining our best in-house tools and capabilities with some of the cutting edge fintech players on the street, we were really able to go to market fast with a relevant prescriptive solution around retaining advisors and attracting new investors. And at the end of the day, it's all about coupling the machine learning that we're able to leverage with Flagoo and create this optimal fit strategy that helps advisors with prospecting, client service, and customer engagement. I think just, if I were to leave the data community here, the data standard platform with one point to remember about data. In the end, data is about making our connections more human. And I think if we tie that back to how people are using the data or to use data to make their lives better, I think we've been successful. I think we've done our job, and we're doing that just here at Broadridge. And that's what we really see the impact of data being.
Yeah, and I really like that point that you brought up. It's something that, especially in the data science field and data in general, people don't think about is the human side and thinking about the client and the people side of all the data that you're working with. But super important point that you brought up, definitely. And I wanted to just throw you a curveball question now. Outside of your work with data and just the finance industry, what are some of your hobbies and interests that you've just been doing on the weekends just to pass the time right now?
That's a great question, Catherine. I wish I had more of a self-centered, fulfilling hobby and time. I have two young boys. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old that are constantly at T-ball and Little League, and my time is evenly dispersed between the two of them and keeping the household afloat. So other than watching the Mets on late night DVR after getting home, I would say that would be primarily where most of my time is spent these days.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think especially during this time when everything's remote, it's a lot of family time too. So I think that's super important. And, being a dad, that's also a full-time job. Just being a parent in general, I'm sure is a full-time job. But yeah, great. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring it back to the data standards. So we're trying to build a community where everyone can just kind of network and collaborate with each other. So what is something the community could help you do?
Sure. I think awareness is key. So just being able to get the message out and having us all be able to learn together, especially across industries, and being able to network. And I know we're all busy and we have demanding responsibilities, but if there's a way to proactively engage people, whether it's sending out like a monthly recap or having kind of a spotlight roundtable type of discussion where it's not just one individual, where maybe there's some constituents that are subject matter experts in the different pockets of the industry that can kind of come together and kind of informally bounce some ideas off each other. I think that would be beneficial from a community aspect. Even maybe having some type of online forum where people can post messages and ask for help, and just have that network there to learn from, I think is really critical.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be sure to connect you with different people within our community after this call as well. And where can everyone find you online just to connect with you?
I'm an old school type of guy. I focus my energy on one social channel these days. It's LinkedIn. It's actually where I connected with the data standards. So, I like to start my morning by going through my news feed on LinkedIn just to keep abreast of what's going on within the industry and some of my contacts and friends there. So I think LinkedIn would be a great place to start and find me, and send me a note, and happy to connect and dive in deeper.
Yeah, perfect. And to our audience, for more information on the data standard, you can find us at www.datastandard.io, as well as on our LinkedIn and YouTube channel. And thank you so much, Paul, for joining us today. It was so great to speak with you.
Same to you, Catherine. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.